Good evening and welcome to Have I Got News for You in a week when the BBC announced it would like Ali G to spearhead its Friday night comedy output, so I'd just like to say booyah cashew and a big up to the Islington Massive. In the news this week, at Stansted, trials begin of the newly privatised air traffic control system. Undaunted by his defeat in London, Frank Dobson bounces back to become Mayor of Moscow. And on Highgrove Estate, there are fears that Prince William lacks the proper respect for England's agricultural heritage. On Ian Hislop's team is an actress who claims that in her profession nowadays, women of her age are ignored. And with Paul Merton tonight... sorry, yes, it is, of course, Sheila Hancock. And with Paul Merton tonight, a 17-year-old who spoke eloquently and persuasively at the last Conservative Party conference, but still the barman wouldn't serve him, Robert Reid. Round one has never been bettered as a description of our opening round. Ian and Sheila, your gift?
Longbridge. Two blokes looking for a job. BMW, proud British owners.
Headquarters.
And that's the saviour.
Mr. Phoenix.
Yeah.
And he bought it for £10.
He was conned.
I had a Rover once.
Any good?
No, not really. No, I had a Morgan, you know, really jazzy Morgan, and my children used to get very wet in the back, so I decided I got to have a more sedate... No, they do, because it leaks, you know. And I thought I'd better get a respectable car, so I got rid of my Morgan and I got a Rover. And it's very depressing to go from a Morgan to a Rover.
But your husband drives a Jag, doesn't he?
So do I. I drive a Jag.
Not a red one, though, through Oxford.
No.
You're married to Inspector Morse. That's right, isn't
yes,
it?
yes.
Yes.
Go on then, Andrew. Andrew?
Andrew's a good name. Andrew.
See, I am getting very, very old. What's your name? Angus?
It was Angus, yes, when I last looked.
All right, but Andrew's nice.
Come on then.
Andrew's fine. As it is a topical news quiz, I feel as if I ought to bring the subject back to the Longbridge plant.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
Whatever you think, Andrew.
I can see this one's going to stick. So what was BMW's name for Rover?
Andrew.
They called it the English patient.
They did.
A sense of humour
right.
demonstration by the Germans.
Yes.
The thing I noticed about that picture was that two people shook hands and then two different hands exchanged a tenner. Do you notice that?
Do you think the money's gone somewhere else?
Stephen Byers pay off, I think.
Can I do a little libel chat with you? Or you'll be in one of those youth prisons you probably approve of.
Yes, this is John Tow's rescue of Rover, which he bought from BMW for £10 on Tuesday. One Rover worker shook the Trade and Industry Secretary Stephen Byers warmly by the hand. "It's fantastic. I really thought I was going to lose my job," said Mr. Byers. Paul and Robert, your week's start?
But that's Ken Livingstone. That's Ken Livingstone.
Oh, there he is again.
That's Ken Livingstone again. He's become mayor. Ken Livingstone's become mayor.
And who's he been offering jobs
team.
to?
He's picked his team.
Yeah.
Himself, and Ken.
And the Queen.
And the Queen.
Yeah.
She's going to do transport.
She over the bridge.
She's going to work as a clippy on number 22. Room on top. Pass along the car, if you please.
He has been offering jobs
What a tremendous
magnanimously.
year it's been for the Commonwealth. Every bloody year she says that.
Not on the bus, though.
No, she doesn't say
It
that.
would be an odd thing for a bus inspector to say.
Yeah.
Who's he been offering jobs to?
Not bus inspector, bus conductor. Have you ever been on a bus, Andrew? When was the last time you were on a bus? And Andy, if I may. When was the last time you were on a bus?
Well, fascinatingly, probably last Christmas.
What was special about Christmas?
Yeah.
No cabs around.
I think I was coming back from a party, and I'd missed the last cab. So, anyway, Ken Livingstone, yes. Have you got much time for Ken, then, Robert?
Well, he's not my favourite politician, it's fair to say.
Right.
Who is?
I suppose, William Hague, I suppose.
Really? You're a bit young to be angling for a job. By the time you're out of school, it won't be Hague in charge.
Would you like his
Probably
job?
be
Would
you.
like to be, Would you like to one day be future Tory leader?
Yeah, it's a possibility.
Or would you like to be Prime Minister?
It's a...
It is possible to be both, I'm told.
Right.
In fact, John Major, man.
It's a while ago, yes. You don't have much good to say about Tony, did you, at the party conference last year?
Well, no, I don't like him either, funnily enough.
No, we could tell that from what you said. We can have a look at it now.
Before the election, all we heard from Tony Blair was education, education, education. With a range of vocabulary like that, he should go to one of his own summer schools.
Were you warmly received by...
It went down.
It was a Tory party conference, Andrew. That sort of thing goes down well at a Tory party.
Yes. Yeah, so you're right. This is Ken Livingstone's first week in office. What was his first official engagement?
He met the Queen on that bridge.
The
did,
bridge,
yes.
yeah, the walking bridge across the Thames. Lovely walk from South Bank with St Paul's Cathedral in the distance.
Except it's only a third finished, isn't it?
Yes.
Well, you got to swim the rest of it.
I thought the Queen was going to bungee jump down when she reached the end. I thought that'd be quite fun.
No, they just stopped dead, didn't they? And she said... she didn't
This is
open
as far
the
as
bridge.
this bus goes.
One of Ken's first tasks as mayor was to join the Queen in the opening of the Millennium Footbridge across the Thames. Flushed with his overwhelming success at the election, Ken walked a third of the way across the Thames before realising he wasn't actually on the bridge. Ian and Sheila, you're exclusive.
And it's Piers. Those are the journalists he sacked.
I forgot what they're called. What are they called?
There's a man called James Hipwell and one called Anil Boyrell. They were the financial journalists,
Advisors.
in the loosest possible sense of that word, who ran a column called City Slickers, and they used to puff shares that they owned. And there was a suggestion that Piers had done exactly the same thing, because he'd bought shares in a company on the same day that his paper was about to run a story saying, buy shares in this company, which would have been pretty stinky. But Piers said he didn't read the paper. So, join the gang.
And how did he react when the scandal broke? Do you remember?
He sacked the two guys.
He did. And Piers' stockbroker also got fired.
Yeah, everybody
Everyone's
got
been
fired, but then
yeah.
they've started blabbing. And so the Press Complaints Committee have said, in the strongest possible terms, we're going to do nothing.
I think they can report them to their bosses is the worst punishment they can come up with. And they've only ever done it once before. Do you know who that was to?
It was
Him.
Piers Morgan.
It was
Yeah.
Piers Morgan, yes. In 1995, when he was at the News of the World. Do you remember what that was about?
Intrusion of privacy in the clinic.
That's right. Earl Spencer's wife.
Earl Spencer's wife.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah. And despite this, Piers is expected to keep his job. Well, you don't take someone off and on a hat-trick, do you? This is Piers Morgan's reprimand from the Press Complaints Commission. Amid accusations of unscrupulous share dealing, Mr Morgan gave his profits of £13,000 to charity and within seconds had colleagues charging through the door saying, you reckon these guide dogs will go up in value then? And finally, Paul and Robert, your maelstrom.
This is the I Love You virus, isn't it? Which has gone around and destroyed half the world's computers, including some in the House of Commons. And this bloke, well, is it this bloke or is it his girlfriend that actually set this virus up? We don't know. And it's also, I've heard, he said that he didn't do it deliberately. It happened by accident. He was surfing the internet and he accidentally sent out a virus which destroyed half the world's computers.
Yeah. He was trying to get Eurosport and he pressed the wrong button.
So is it affected your computer, Robert?
Nope.
Because you're quite a big computer fan, aren't you? What are your favourite games?
Not to the level of not having a life.
Oh, that's very patronising, Andrew.
When I get the chance to play games, which isn't that often, I suppose a football management game.
And what about Chucky Egg?
Yes. This is true. An old computer called a Spectrum. I don't know if anyone knows the Spectrum's marvellous old machines. And we used to have one. And we used to have
I've
this
just
game.
bought one.
Well, you want to play this game called Chucky Egg? It's absolutely marvellous. It really is superb.
Nice sort of game.
Yeah, absolutely your kind of game. You know, quite easy to understand, I imagine.
Shan't defend you again. Dear, oh dear.
But have you got computers at Private Eye, then?
Yeah, we have.
Are you there on a typewriter, you know, typing it in?
I've only got a certain amount of patience, Robert.
Did you get the I love you bug?
No,
No,
sent
funny
it to
that,
me.
isn't it?
Curious.
The only one in the Western world who can get it.
That's good. Did you, Sheila?
No, I didn't. I would have opened it like a shot, wouldn't you?
Yeah, definitely.
I think it's a rather lovely thing to have done. I hope it's the girl. Because I think only a girl would have thought of doing I love you. Do you know what I mean? A boy would have done bully for you or I don't know.
So, how do you feel about the £6.5 billion that it's cost people worldwide?
I don't care. It's worth it. It's worth it. Such a good joke. I mean, I love it. I would have been livid if it had mucked up my computer. I tell you, I'm computer mad, but never mind.
Because it would have spoilt your Open University degree, of course.
I'm ashamed to say, I started the OU I'm one of the first people, about 1984. And you have to get about, I think it's 8 points. You get a point per thing. And I've only got 2.5.
This is the love bug virus, which caused millions of pounds worth of damage worldwide in a matter of hours. Some countries were spared the virus, for example, Wales, where just by chance the computer wasn't plugged in that day. In Westminster, MPs' personal computers were paralysed, so we can finally say, without fear of a lawsuit, that Peter Mandelson has been affected by a love bug picked up from a Filipino student. So, at the end of that round, it's 4-all. For round 2 tonight, something completely different. And by completely different, I do, of course, mean hugely derivative. Clearly, one of our 4 panellists is at a disadvantage and couldn't be expected to keep up with a grown-up quiz based on topical news events. So, to help Paul out this week, we're delighted to unveil our own version of the long-running student quiz, Universally Challenged. So, fingers on the buzzers, no conferring. Here's your first starter for 1. Which Shakespeare play features the famous sea battle of Actium won by Octavius Caesar?
Maudlin Hislop.
Antony and Cleopatra.
It is Antony and Cleopatra, yes, very good. And for a bonus point, what was the name of the character played by Sheila Hancock in the film Carry On Cleo?
Can I confer?
You can on these, yes.
Oh, this is shaming.
Cenopod.
It was Cenopod, I'm afraid. Yes, married to Hengist Pod, if you remember.
That's right,
inventor
Tim Dale.
of the square wheel.
Yes, I know it. And I was 5 months pregnant when I did that with my eldest daughter.
Well, it doesn't show.
Oh, God.
So, fingers back on the buzzers. Who is the youngest person ever to have addressed the Conservative Party conference?
Martin Merton.
I don't know.
Ian and Sheila?
Is it Robert?
No, it's actually Laura Etheridge, aged 15, who trounced her nearest rival, Robert Reid, by 18 months, and William Hague, in fact, by 19 months. But for an extra point, or at least a point, how did William Hague distinguish himself on his first day at school?
He got upset.
He got upset, is that your answer?
He got upset. He got upset.
Right.
He went home.
He left, he went home.
He did.
He
Why,
couldn't
though?
stick it.
But he had to play some game.
No, he didn't like jigsaws.
Jigsaws, that's it.
And, yes, he was aged 5 at the time, and just to prove that anyone looks sweet at that age, here's Anne Widdecombe. Starter for one, no conferring. Which Conservative MP defected to Labour recently over...
Prestatyn Comprehensive, read.
I think the answer is Sean Woodward.
Well interrupted. Sean Woodward is the right answer. Very good. And for an extra point, Sean Woodward's brother Leslie was revealed to have a sex change this year. To what has he changed his name?
When does he change his name? Leslie. He's changed his name to Leslie. He's just spelt it differently.
Is the right answer. Another starter then. According to the Sunday Times, when he accedes to the throne, what will Prince Charles call himself?
Martin.
King.
Well, part of that is correct, obviously.
King Charles III.
No, Ian and Sheila?
What do you mean, no?
He wants to call himself something else.
Ken. He's going to call himself Ken.
No. George VII is what he's going to call himself because the title King Charles is associated with decapitation.
And spaniels, surely.
Only one King Charles associated with that, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, the other
one's
one's all right.
associated with running off with your mistress.
Exactly.
So no problems there.
Yes, and for an extra mark, on a recent visit to Australia, how did Prince Philip ruin £1,000 worth of lemon ricotta cheese?
He refused to wear a special hat.
Oh,
Open Hancock.
I beg your pardon.
I'm sorry, Paul.
Your buzzer lit
Yeah,
up.
go on. off
He
you
wore
go.
a hat. He wouldn't wear a hat.
Wouldn't wear a hat.
No, he wouldn't wear a snood. It was a sort of snood thing.
That's right.
What are you supposed to wear? Give us a flash of your jacket, talking of clothes. Isn't that nice?
That's a snood.
It's a danger to shipping from where I am.
This is, in fact, the right answer. He flouted factory regulations by refusing to wear a sterilised hairnet at a cheese farm in New South Wales. So, fingers back on your buzzers.
We're not still playing this, are
yes.
we?
Earlier this year, the Department of Education pulped 48,000 posters designed to promote literacy. What was the reason?
Prestatyn Comprehensive, read.
Total guess, I imagine a spelling mistake.
I'd say the same
It
thing.
is a very good guess. Absolutely right answer. The word spelt wrong was vocabulary, in fact. And so, for an extra point, how do you spell it?
Vocabulary. V-O-C... A-B-U-L-A-R-Y.
No, I'm afraid you've fallen for the oldest schoolboy joke in the world. You
IT.
actually spell
Oh,
it
I-T. Oh, me. Oh,
That's a bit mean.
that is pathetic.
That's a bit mean. I mean,
This is...
Sheila Hancock's a respected actress.
This is...
You drag her along here. How do you spell it? She's a respected actress.
Absolutely, I agree.
You're meant to be
Paul.
Jeremy Paxman, not Jeremy Beadle.
Fingers on the buzzers. So, who won the final of this year's University Challenge?
Prestatyn Comprehensive, read.
Durham.
Durham University, yes, won it last Tuesday. And here's Jeremy Paxman showing us how to host a quiz properly.
We're going to take another picture round now. For your picture starter, you're going to see a British tourist sign for 10 points. Simply tell me what it is.
Imperial Robinson.
It's a national park.
No.
Newhall Wilson.
It's an oak leaf.
Anybody can see it's an oak leaf. Now, it is just a symbol for the national...
For? You said what is
It
it?
signifies the National Trust. She almost gave you the whole thing there. So we'll take the picture.
What is it for? Not what is it?
It's a sign signifying the National Trust. I said it was a tourist sign. On a point of pedantry, you may be right, but there you are. Back
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
Yes,
Very
yeah.
good,
He never
very
gives in on Newsnight, though, does he?
No.
And now, 5 questions on metalwork. Oh, sorry, I haven't got time for them.
I wouldn't know them anyway.
Which,
I got ungraded CSE.
oh, yes.
That was a really weak gong, you know, and I think it goes boom.
Yeah.
Well, I think it had like a symbol, wasn't it?
You should get the bloke who introduces them films. Rank.
Arthur Rank.
Well, I didn't try and introduce personally. All I know is he used to hit the gong. What he did outside of that is his own business.
Which educationally bereft display of knowledge means that it's Ian and Sheila who are failing with flying colours, trailing as they are 11-8. So, with the chaos of our second round well and truly behind us, let's welcome the more ordered pandemonium of our third. Just one odd one out per team this week. Paul and Robert, James Cagney, Vladimir Putin, Dawn Airy and William Hague.
Is Putin the only one that works on Thunderbirds 2?
It's Putin. He's the odd one out.
For what reason?
Just going to say it. I don't know.
Yeah, 1 in 4 chance.
Yeah.
All right, you say Putin, I say James Cagney. Yeah. What do you say, Ian?
I say Dawn Airy.
I go for Hague, because I think all of these people have been members of extreme left-wing organisations. Putin, fairly obviously, belonged to the Communist Party. I think James Cagney was in some organisation in Hollywood. Dawn Airy was known as Red Dawn. I might have made that up, but... And William Hague is a Conservative, so that's an answer.
You get one because you picked the right person but the wrong reason. It involves something Hague does in Jeffrey Archer's basement.
Oh, yes.
Ah,
Judo.
yes.
Stop
Judo.
working. Karate, judo.
Judo.
Yeah.
Hague's in, well...
He's the only one who's knocked out Seb Coe, I think, because it's true. I believe that they were in the gym and William Hague knocked the fella out. I think.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'll only give you one for this because the answer is that they're all black belts in judo,
My
apart
goodness.
from William Hague, who is only a green belt, I'm afraid, Robert.
You say William Hague's a green belt?
He is, yes.
Is he going to build all over it?
Have you met Hague?
Yeah,
Robert?
very briefly, very briefly. I went to Central Office a couple of years ago on my work experience.
Right.
And one day...
How old were you?
It's about 15, I think.
Right, are they all 15 in the Conservative Centre?
I was, I think, clearing away the coffee, and yeah, I was giving...
I thought you were formulating defence policy.
And why was Dawn Airy in the news recently?
Because she said, I want to buy Neighbours.
Well, she was on Question Time.
She was on Question Time.
Yes. She mentioned that Channel 5 were showing a documentary about pornography and 150,000 people switched channels. Good wheeze, actually.
Is that the name of the film? Asthmatics in Love. Sometimes the hardest words to say are, I love you.
Dawn Airy's efforts to deliver successful programming for Channel 5 were described by one critic as no more edifying than watching a dwarf lift weights with his penis. And coincidentally, naked dwarf weightlifting is exactly what you can see right now on Channel 5. Ian and Sheila, your bunch of nutters are Prince Philip, Peter Tatchell, Chris Woodhead and Matthew MacDonald.
Matthew MacDonald was one of the people who attacked McDonald's in the riots.
And what's happened to him?
Well, he was at Eton. Well, he was. He's been expelled, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's been expelled. I think three of them have been expelled. I imagine Tatchell must have been expelled at some time. And Chris
Why?
Well, I mean... he's always making waves, so I can't imagine him surviving at any
Making
school.
waves, eh? That's how they call it.
Hello.
And probably Chris would...
I had a fire in my house the other week. Guess who turned up? Oh, look at the size of them flames.
I don't know. I've no idea.
They were all expelled, were they?
Except for Prince Philip.
Is Prince Philip a part-time fireman? Is this the annual Buckingham Palace I'm a Teapot game?
Well, we only know that he got expelled.
The answer is that they were all head boy except Matthew MacDonald, who was expelled from Eton for the May riots. Did Prestatyn play Eton?
Sorry, I was just falling asleep for a minute there.
I know how you feel.
I know you're up late.
Prince Philip was head boy at Gordonston and adopted the same harsh regime with his own children. He once said of Princess Anne, if it doesn't fart or eat hay, she's not interested. So her husband must be an unusual dinner companion. So the round all our panellists have been waiting for is currently being lined up along the BBC bar. But first, missing words. So prepare for driver nicked for eating what?
Kit Kat.
Kit Kat.
Kit Kat, yes. Kit Kat Chunky, in fact, to get it absolutely right. This is Kevin Story, who was fined £20. I hadn't even opened it myself, he said. My wife did it for me and passed it to me, whereupon his wife was arrested for aiding and abetting. Next, I had that what in the back of my cab?
Andrew Dayton.
Prince Philip.
No, the answer is Russian spy. Next, Tory anger over what?
Losing. Just being so useless. No.
No, the answer is town hall lesbians.
Is there a shortage?
This is Aberystwyth, where Mayor Jacqueline Taylor, or Mayoress, mother of 2, has chosen her lesbian partner, and mother of 6, as Mayoress, or Mayor, with the
That's
full
only 'cause
approval.
they're not Tories, though, isn't it? They're Plaid Cymru, aren't they?
Plaid Cymru, that's right.
I knew he'd know.
Yes.
Finger on the pulse.
Yeah.
I used to do a lot of that when I was your age.
Which knee-jerk reactions mean that at the end of this quick-fire round that this week's class idiots are Ian and Sheila with 12, whilst this week's class acts are Paul and Robert with 14. But before we let them go AWOL, the brief discharge of our caption competition.
Is the cat saying I don't usually go this far on the first date? Oh no, the mouse is taking our picture. I think that's very sweet.
It is
Good, I'm glad
They're
you
not
enjoyed
sewn together, are they? Because then the story would take on an ugly tinge.
Heavy rainfall in England.
And I leave you with news that at the Millbank canteen, staff begin to spread John Prescott's toast. In West London, there's evidence that some builders will wolf whistle at anything in a skirt. And in Westminster, the Prime Minister delivers a keynote speech on the dangers of alcohol abuse. Good night.
Fun, thrills and baggage on BBC Two. New comedy with Coupling. Next.